like a natural striation of cyanide.
Coconut is supposed to help with electrolytes, right?
So this is the little dishes of offerings. You can see the street vendors in front of every shop in the mornings. That's Rama and Sita. This is our mantra. It's the Fab Four. This is the Bat Cave Temple. So these are, you can see families just arriving in their car. And then you see they all have their sash. Anointed rice. I always forget that part. Yeah, after you're wet, they press rice to your forehead or to your throat. Lots of color. Yeah, just where it's growing in the crotches. Now we're switching to a very luxurious hotel.
The last hotel.
And that's our guide today. This is name on the right. Yes. And you always have a flower. You always have a flower behind your head because they're just everywhere.
You take these with your iPad or your
Everything's with an iPhone. Well, it's easy to take a good picture in Bali because it's such a beautiful place. So beautiful.
You got everything.
But she's very skilled. Very, very skilled.
There's like our dinner.
Wow.
So here you get a chance to see that satay. That's a common meal. That's desserts. This is our breakfast, and these are
Lots of fruit, too.
Lots of that. Unfortunately, this picture is sliced in half. And then these are fruits that are just outside the temple everywhere. This is snake fruit and rambutan and jackfruits and bananas and things. Tirthaganga is a water temple, so we got the experience of walking on water, and once again, all the locals were bringing offerings. And it's too bad that picture is not a big picture because that's kind of like a wide shot of the whole place. And the artistry, they are exquisitely talented.
Yeah, that's really
So
awesome.
all these stones are laid out in the water, and you just take your turn facing. And you can see something.
Do you have a picture of us swimming?
Yes, I do swimming. There's a picture. We look at all
So we got to go in the water, and then this is where we got the holy water. So
Yes.
where was the one that you guys actually knew?
I was going to put that up.
We didn't take that. That was a job thing.
So this is a village where their boy has these baskets, and each basket contains a chicken.
Wow.
They also don't think that they
They don't marry outside the village.
I still have teeth on this one.
Yes, and then they weave this beautiful weaving style called ikat. So every time our bus would alight, there would always be the girls coming out, spreading out their sarongs, so you can see obviously the fan like that.
And they paint their chickens.
Yeah,
Yes, they paint them all these bright colors.
yeah. See, look in the baskets there. Those
Those
are
are
all
actually
chickens.
cockfighters.
They're cockfighting.
No, they're cockfighters.
And then these masks are also, that's another big thing. And then the beads.
Are those Buddha masks?
Some are Buddhist, Hindu. This is the boy, and that's what he made that morning.
Wow.
So there he is. I caught him in the act.
It's kind of a development.
And now this is Paul. I happened to sneak up and get this picture unawares. He's being anointed by the priestess of that temple. And if I was more pushy, I could have gone in there and got a better shot, but instead of a little bit. This is the elephant temple, and you can see that when they carve stuff, they don't fool around.
So the elephant's
Turn
sacred.
the water
The volume so they can hear you.
So is the elephant sacred?
Turn it down. Yeah, you want me to turn it down? Okay.
Is the elephant
That was the
sacred?
rice fields.
They don't even have elephants in Bali. There are no elephants in Bali. It's just called that because this creature had tusks. This is the monkey forest, where the monkeys really roam right up to you, right on the street.
Lots of babies. They must have just had babies not too
Yeah.
long ago.
So there's a lot of monkeys. But then again, and here's just one of the keepers in the temple.
Are the monkeys nice though?
They can be, but they're also very aggressive. I had
Especially
to
their
talk them
babies.
down and say,
They're
and this is
quite
That doesn't look too aggressive.
well, this is one of the things that they
That's
do
my
that
flea.
is funny. They're just picking fleas
You
off
can't have
each
my
other.
flea.
And then this little
I'm
guy
gonna get
goes,
that flea.
I want to pick two. And this guy goes, come on, get out of here, grab it. Boom. Here's a big flea. It's not a flea. doors. This is not like a scenic site or a tourist site.
Oh, look,
This
it's
is
mesh.
every
Yeah.
day
With the whole-
passing on the streets of Ubud. This is just carvings that, this man, I thought that they make him in a factory. That guy's actually carving it. He was in the act of actually carving the other side. So if I slowed it down, you'd be able to see that.
Diane, do you, in your research or whatever, did you notice that the people are from India originally? I mean, you know, the ancestors.
No, they're not.
No, we
They
have
definitely have they have an
Chinese
Asian
influence.
Pacific, like we have some pictures of our guide
That's a
and,
pretty door.
yeah, they're stunning, the artistry
Wow,
of
artistry.
carving.
It's
There's
like these.
nothing that's done casually, nothing is done casually. Then we had the opportunity to go through the rice paddies on a bike ride, and, you know, these paths were really small. This is not like, you know, American style where everything is safe. There was bugs, there was snakes, there was nothing. But nonetheless, this is just your casual street. This is not a fancy place. Yeah, this is just a casual little village, you know, on the back roads, and we came across a wedding.
A wedding.
Yeah, we found that, and then this is fruit stand, you know, and it's just beautiful, you know, and
It's
these are
displayed
the
beautifully.
bounties.
Yeah, everything is just
Spices and
color.
herbs. So there's a banyan
Banyan.
tree,
Where's the temple?
and so the temple's right next to it, and then there's a couple that have, so I've asked if we could take their picture, and they probably were crazy. This is interesting. So
You
this
have to
here,
ask to take pictures to fill this back.
now this you have to kind of get into. This is the gamelan, this instrument. We play it with these little golden numbers, and I only have like 10-second bites of each thing, but you can get an idea of how they operate. So this is basically the background of the instrument, the Balinese dance, and it's not melodic, it is rhythmic. So this is going to affect you on a rhythmic
Watch
level.
their eyes and their
You can
hands.
just, the postures are very specific.
Yes.
So every posture has a meaning?
Every posture, every arch of the finger, each finger that they're using,
There's a whole story in there.
there's a whole story. And each of these little stories, those are stories about Rama and Sita. The theme is often, this is the main choreographer. And you can just gently balance on his feet. And just as he shifts his weight ever so subtly. This is where the orchestra, as we call it, starts to participate. This is another dance of the Monkey King, who, in the story of Rama and Sita, comes to save Rama at one point. And I guess they're being told, go, go, you know. So, luckily we were given a little bit of insight into the story, so by the time we saw the dance, we could at least understand a little bit of its significance.
That helps. Helps with opportunity.
Just little tiny bites.
He's a monkey, right?
This woman is she's, I can't say.
She's a master.
She is mastering her fingers and her face.
Well, and the choreographer too.
Yeah. She just dances once in a while. Yeah, she teaches mostly, but this face is phenomenal. So this is the last one.
They start when they're children.
Yeah. You just watch every, it's like a stop motion animation almost. And now we're shopping. Now let's go shopping in Bali. They have a lot of Buddhas. They do a lot of carving, a lot of painting. Right? That's the sidewalks in Bali, so you really got to watch where you're going. This is the fabric, tons and tons of fabric. This is the souvenir I did buy because I was trying to use this. Yeah.
And the wood, they import wood from Indonesia for some of the statues, and then they have teak and what's the other? Crocodile wood is the native.
This is a temple called Tanawat. where we did a pilgrimage, which you can only do at low tide, and there's a spring, freshwater spring, on this island in the middle of the ocean. So this was really seen as a site of miracle. And so this was our final, our final temple that we visited. And at this point, we were really pretty used to the routine.
We were one of the few groups that could go up to the top of the temple.
And actually meet with the Brahmin priest.
Yeah,
So it was really a privilege.
arranged that.
Yeah. And now the rest of these pictures are because it's too many to look through, so you're just going to get the whole mishmash of everything from here on. So there's just a lot of beauty shots. Like I said, it's pretty tough to take a bad picture of Bali.
A lot of, they have rice fields, eggplant, peanuts. This is a rice field. When we were walking in the rice field, which was a different group than Lily went on, several people fell because it was so skinny. And that's when they were on the boat.
Yeah, this is our snorkeling trip where Coni was our good citizen. That's one of our hotels. It looks like some out of a Frontier catalog, but that's real.
In the blue lagoon that we went to, there was garbage all in the water, and the coral beds were all.
See how Asian that looks? Because I bought, in Taipei, I bought some Asian, those are called something, food dogs, and they look so much like that.
Yes, yes. This is actually us chanting.
They told us what to get in the morning, we were just.
Unfortunately, I can't mitigate the underlying music. But this is what it was like to be in the room of whatever hotel we were in. We would meet in a central meeting area at 7:30 every morning and practice our diabetes. And then this is the Donna players, just at another temple. You could hear them in the distance because they were never really in your face. They were always far away. But it's interesting because they just have whole families, casuals,
Superb photography.
So now what we'd like to do is take 2 minutes each, and then we'll sum up, is to share about how it was a spiritual pilgrimage for us. Lily shared a little bit about hers, but what I wanted to share about was that each temple had an intention, and the first temple was to release. And what I found was that as I set my intention for that release, not only was I focused and not aware of all the things that were going around, and I was more connected to the blessing, but it built. I can't remember what the second, third, or fourth temple's intentions were right now, but what I know is that one built on the other built, and then at the end, I was privileged to have a healing from one who he would take donations and then he would give the money to an orphanage in Bali. And what that did for me is that it pulled everything together. So it was like he reaffirmed what I was feeling that each of these temples and the intention had done. And then what was even more interesting was when I got home, that it had become part of me without really like having to work at it sometimes, like saying affirmations or doing this. It just evolved. And that what I found, like my intention on the first one was, it's really interesting, not only to not try to control, but not compete. Because what I found is in yoga, you guys know I'm physical and I can't do a lot of physical because of my injuries, but I noticed myself like wanting to do better than the next person. I should be able to stretch harder or whatever. So I took that as my intention to release. And so in my daily life now, what comes up is that comes up, and it comes up in all different forms that I was never aware of, that it's like, oh, I released that. I don't have to do that anymore, and I can put something else in its place. But it was more flowing. The other thing I noticed when I came home was that I had some very vivid dreams, and it seemed to be at that subconscious level of working out things that I had been working at the subconscious level as we went on the journey. So from beginning to end, it was a spiritual pilgrimage for me. Any of you that saw the movie Wilderness, or there's another one about a
Eat, Pray,
man, well, Eat, Pray, Love too, but there's another one about a journey of a man making a pilgrimage through the mountains in Mexico, I think. Anyway, that's the kind of thing was happening, but on the regular level, I was shopping, I was doing all the other things. But this was happening, and it was life-changing for me. Okay? Donna, you want to go next?
Well, for me, it was presence. I was paid attention to being right there where my feet were, and feeling peaceful and grateful, totally grateful. Gratitude would be one of the words that I would use too, for just for being able to be there and be in the presence of all this spiritual stuff. Something that wasn't brought up was their black and white squares. What would you call it?
Checkers.
Plaid.
Checks.
Checked. Black, you know, good and bad, and then the gray where they meet is what our life is right now. You know, struggles we have, and to be overcome some of the stuff that we go through. So anyway, I'm grateful is what I would say.
Coni?
Yeah, the gratitude is huge. I keep thinking I'm gonna lose this skirt, but the gratitude is really great. And this Edward from Santa Rosa said, since everything was different, the language was different, the food was different, everything about it was different. But if you wanted to make this a real pilgrimage, that you brought awe with you. And so even though there's this different landscape altogether in your consciousness, you can bring awe with you. And isn't that true of everyday life that we have? We forget sometimes because we have a busy world and a busy life, and it's a lot of money issues and all those kinds of things. So
Say bring awe,
awe,
A-W-E.
A-W-E, or all.
Yeah.
So bring all, bring everything.
I don't really have too much, I don't have really much more to add except to say that we were very blessed because, David had traveled, and Mal, you had been there before as well, hadn't you? So David and Mal had traveled there before us, and one of the things that they communicated to us was that, when you've been there, what was different for them the second time around was now they were looking for things. And they were enjoying watching us have that first impression, and it was wonderful because together they would always remind us every day to be in community. We were not individual travelers. Every day they would remind us, let's be together. Well, there was no drama part too. But it was really more about being together and making this journey together. Because each and every person that participated in this group had such an integral presence. And sometimes there were people who would say, oh, I don't think anyone would miss me. If I didn't go, I don't think anyone would care. And the interesting thing was, isn't it the truth? Every single one brought their spirit, their depth of knowledge. And you take it from the point where you are. Where you are, it's all welcoming.
So I imagine.
Well, let's ask
Yeah.
him.
Yes.
David,
What?
I'm sure David now will tell us.
Would you like to share how the pilgrimage was for you?
Oh, I'm actually so moved, I'm kind of weepy. I'm moved because of the way you summarized. It took me 2 years to summarize what I hear you saying now after one visit.
Well,
So
there's 4 of us.
And I'm getting ready to go back next year, so I'm hoping to know next year what you know now. And thank you again for having me here. It's a privilege to be in your circle. Thank you. And how can I get a copy of this video?
Oh, yeah, me
Have
too.
you
Me too.
I don't know. I think I have to burn it to a DVD. But this is not the one you want.
has more.
I have the one that's for.
Yeah, the one with the nudes in it.
Now you tell
Yeah,
me.
that's the one that I want my body. What do you recommend?
I'll take that one too.
One choice was just.
The one where Donna doesn't order
Okay.
The one that Donna doesn't care about.
How many are you willing to make and we'll all buy one?
Okay, now it's your.
Pay your way.
For me,
Auction
for
them
me,
off,
The time in Bali was an opportunity to bring to completion things that I had started working on in my internal growth that I had not had the opportunity, the energy, the time to go ahead and take to a completion. And as Diane was referring to the intention that we were bringing in each one of the temples that we were going to, the first temple, it was about release, whatever it was that was consuming you. Then when we were in the water temple, it was about getting to whatever is it that you are procrastinating or scared of doing, but just immerse yourself into it.
And is that the releasing part? Or
No,
is
the
that
releasing
of
part
another
was
one?
before.
Okay,
And now
so
it's
that's
like,
two.
okay, now get clarity on what your intention really is and
And then
just
immerse
go into it.
yourself.
Immerse yourself into your intention. So it was a very nice journey, personal journey for me. And but what I think like the most is that as we arrived, as a group arriving to Bali, everybody's trying to get the blessing, the emotions and the way to put the clothes on right and how do I sit right. And it was a lot about doing things right and being serious. Towards the end of the trip, it was very interesting to see Edward sitting there, and we were supposed to be entering the room quiet, and it wasn't happening. People were just talking, and everybody was kind of bubbly and smiley and touching other people and feeling close to people. And I remember when that was happening that I had heard in one of the classes that I'd taken that if there were a scale of consciousness where sadness, depression, anxiety is at the bottom, being relaxed is in the middle, but being playful is at the top. So people express their highest level of consciousness when they are playful. And I don't know, for me it was beautiful to see people, everybody being just playful and careless and just not cynical or critical of anything, but just present to whatever was there. And we started doing what the Balinese people do in their scooters. Just flow without thinking there is anything wrong. Just go through whatever you have to go. Don't make anybody wrong. And just yield to whoever needs to be coming in front of you and flow. And it was, I don't know, for me it was probably one of the most beautiful things to
So I
experience.
take it there aren't too many accidents there?
No.
No,
not
They're
one.
just-
that was
just
one of the
they
things that
feel
we
the
were-
energy and they just move with it.
We were paying a special attention. I mean, there was a couple, he was driving the scooter and she was holding a mirror.
A mirror.
Not a frame mirror. So she's sitting sideways on the scooter and she's holding a mirror that's about, big.
No hands on him or anything.
No, she's just sitting
Oh
on
my
the
God.
scooter, but her face is not like, oh my God, or she's not yelling at him, be careful, or it's not that.
She's one with everything. She's just
Exactly.
totally grounded.
She's just holding
Yeah.
the mirror and riding
Yeah.
on the scooter, and
Yeah.
he's just driving
Yeah.
the scooter. Of
Wow.
course, the adults have to wear helmets,
Kids
but
don't.
the kids don't.
Well, that makes
Whole
sense.
family goes on the scooter. There's 5 people riding the scooter.
5 people on a scooter.
Usually the male drives with his helmet, and then the baby comes. The youngest member of the family comes in front of him.
Yeah.
He holds on to the steering wheel as well, and then there is a kid, and then there is the female, and then the female is, of course, sitting on the side, holding another child.
On one scooter.
Yeah.
And where's-
4 or 5.
And they're all wearing flip-flops.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Well,
jackets
they're
because
so-
it gets
It's cold.
But it's just,
Yes.
for me, seeing how people can be so, and they have an intention. I mean, traffic is moving. It's not like when you are in the highway
Yes.
and somebody has to stop because they cannot change lanes, or they believe that they cannot change lanes.
Yeah,
And people here just weave and flow and let other people
this is amazing.
go by, and if anybody honks or anything, it's just to make people aware. I'm
Right.
here, but it's not with intention of making anybody wrong.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
Love
it
your
was,
neighbor.
it was very
As you
nice to
love
see
yourself.
our Westerners,
Yeah.
Westerners' minds and habits kind of
Yeah,
get lost, and all of a sudden we were operating as a group like that. I mean, even the way we're getting into the buses at the beginning, people were kind of trying to pick a bus. At the end, it was like, we'll just get on the bus. You know, there were several buses.
Any bus.
Any bus is fine. Sitting
Yeah.
with whoever is fine.
good.
It was a beautiful group experience to witness, and personally, I just
That's
loved the
great.
experience.
And if you don't, I thank you for giving me another minute. It was beautiful, Lily, when you came to our table and you were explaining Jiu-Jitsu
Oh,
or
Jinshin.
Jiu-Jitsu. You know, I noticed it was all juju to me. But it was so beautiful because most of those folks in that group are familiar with like the science of mind, which is what I'm familiar with. But she was present, and everybody was present for Lily as she was explaining and sharing what she was up to. And it was really lovely. And lastly, the Yaya sisters always set the tone no matter where they went.
Yeah.
Always. Connie was usually laughing. Donna was misbehaving. You were trying to corral them. And you were so not even paying attention. You were too busy being present with your picture.
I was just watching Donna.
So thank you for letting me speak. It's good to be here, sir.
So because I'm the organizer, I want to keep us in honor of the time, and it's 11. So I would like to lead our ending circle here, and then I invite everybody to help with the cleanup, because the more people that do it, the faster it will go. So if you just stand
Well,
up.
thank you very
If you have
much.
to leave, it's okay.
Yes, get back to work.
Yeah, that's fine.
Pleasure meeting you all. Have a great
Yeah.
day. Thank you
Yes,
for
thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Enjoy you.
Thank you. Good.